Thank you everyone for being here. Welcome to Hub 101's demo day. I was going to wait for Mike Panessis to get here, but he's running a little bit late. Maybe he'll pop in and say a few words in a moment. Who has been here before? Okay, so I have a lot of hands. Some who are new. Welcome to the space. Hub 101 is a co-working space. We're a startup incubator, and we are a community dedicated to helping entrepreneurs grow and build sustainable and scalable businesses. We're part of Cal Lutheran University. We are managed under specifically the Stephen Dorfman Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship, and I think Stephen Dorfman may even be joining us online right now. Hi, Steve, if you're here. Fantastic. For those of you online, if at any moment anything goes wrong, please just put it in the chat, and we will get right on it. Cool. Does everyone in person have a brochure, or I guess a event program? Cool. The reason this is important, on the back, is the networking side. For those of you who are online, if you are looking at me on the main stage and hop in, if you just scroll down, you will see a color-coordinated table. That is the networking order I'm referring to. At the bottom. So we're gonna have 4 startups present today. I'm so excited for you to get to meet them. And at the bottom, we have a networking order. Because we are hybrid, people in person need to have teams to network with, and so do the attendees online. So, if you look at the bottom, it says from 5:10 to 5:30, hop in, which is our online platform. You will be able to network with XIANA and ECOSYS Health Hub. And those of you in person will be networking with MMA BetClub and Librico, and then we switch. That makes sense? Yes? Fantastic. Thank you all for joining us. I just want to shout out real quick, this is not a sponsor of the event. We paid for this, but there's a platform called Cinemaker. They're actually a local startup. They're based in Santa Barbara. Fantastic company, and they're the software that we're using right now to stream live, and it is so super easy. I love it. It makes hybrid events a lot easier. So just wanted to shout that out. If you are interested in working with, or I guess having hybrid events, it can be really challenging. We are doing it with iPhones and with an iPad driving the whole thing. So you can do it without a lot of flashy technology and do it well. Okay. IdeaToDo is our program for startups. So it actually started in the middle of the pandemic. Sarah, at the back right there, is actually one of our participants in our last cohort. She's an alum. Hi, Sarah. And we have a couple others, I believe, here too. Let's see. Anyone from our last cohort? No. Not. Oh, Martha, hi. You're right in front of me. Hello. So good to see you. Martha graduated from our last cohort as well, and is currently fundraising herself. So IdeaToDo was launched in October of 2020. In the middle of the pandemic, we were shut for a whole year. And so in that time, it gave us the opportunity to see what else we could do. And so we started to really experiment with programs, and this was born during that time. So it's a 14-week program, accelerator program, very early stage startups, and at the end of the program is this type of showcase event. So it's a really big deal. This is the first time that these teams have really presented their ideas in this type of format. So if you could join me and give a round of applause for these 4 teams, please. And without further ado, I'm going to bring up our first founder, Yue, founder of Librico, and she is going to tell you about her startup.
Well, hello everyone. Thanks for joining us. My name is Yue. I'm the founder of Librico. So Librico is a read-to-earn, read-to-sell ebook platform that is powered by blockchain and NFT. It was like people say, oh my God, blockchain. So I really created this platform just to solve my own problem. That's how you can tell like how narcissistic I am. But if you're interested and share the same pain, please come talk to me after the pitch. I would love to hear from you. I can also be a very good listener from time to time, just so you know. The problem we're trying to solve has 2 parts. So as a reader, I find it very difficult to find a book that actually really fits my own interest, my own preference, my own taste. A book can be like a bestseller, right? Can be receive reward claimed, but still it's a book that I probably don't want to read. And to find that book, even with like recommendation system these days, like Amazon.com give you 20 options that you can choose from, it is still a lot of work. It's consuming. Like you have to take time to go through each of them, That's time consuming. You have to make a decision on if you want to buy it. That decision making is also consuming. And even let's say you think, okay, this is a book, I'm going to enjoy it, I'm going to pay the money, I'm going to buy it. Still, halfway through, you can realize that, okay, I don't enjoy it as much as I would like to. So that's the reader side. And writers has a very different problem. They could front load so many good work, but still they couldn't answer that one question, that is, how would the market react to it? Would reader like it? They would not know the answer to that question. And not only that, the writers don't know about that, nor the agents, nor the publishers know the answer to that question. That's why across the industry, there is this method that is just to throw spaghettis at a wall and to see what sticks. And this is where you hear all those famous rejection stories, like Stephen King got, I don't know what's going on, Stephen King got rejected by 19 times, and then J.K. Rowling 14 times. It's all because there's not an answer to that question. So what we're trying to solve is we're trying to solve these two problems with one. I'm trying to see if you can hear me.
Hold it more like this, yes.
Okay, sounds better, okay. So what we're trying to do is solve these two problems with one platform. We want to be able to incentivize our readers, and we also want to support our authors from the beginning all the way to the end when they actually sell their book in NFT. And we want to do it, so we want to first reward our readers for going through that trouble to find the book they want to read and show us the interest in that book. And that reward now catalyzes the whole book searching process. And that which gives all the authors a better chance for their work to be discovered. And not only just that, that reward actually comes with two parts. There is a cash equivalent, and there's also the purchase credit we will put towards buying the end result, which is the book NFT. And that is going to then give the reader another incentive to not only like the book while it's still being developed, but also giving them incentive to actually buy the final product. And at this time, you probably think, okay, this is all too good to be true, right? Mm-hmm. So traditionally, yes. But with the blockchain, with the tokenomics, this is where it becomes possible. So what you're looking at, this is one of the screens where the magic happens. So you see, come to the screen and say, okay, this is a book I really want to read. It seems great. I want to read more on it. I want to get rewarded from it. So what's going to happen is you say, okay, I think I'm going to use about maybe 10 Librico platform tokens, and I'm going to use that to support its author. You click that button. What happens after that is Librico, the platform, will work hard, work with generous, can't say that word, work with an external network, and then generate rewards, bring it back, and distribute that to the readers and the authors. And then one thing worth noting is all that Librico platform tokens that you're going to support, you didn't spend them. You didn't lose them. You still have them. So basically, effectively, just by you showing your interest with that amount of token, now both the readers and the authors can get that economic benefit. So this is how it's going to work. And that was the grand vision, and now you know all of that. This is the market we're going to target. So we'll first start with age 25 to 35 age group. They normally spend about $100 per year on recreational reading. So start with that group. They will start with a group who are genre fiction ebook readers, preferably using mobile devices. Then we can expand on the age group. We expand on to not only selling the book NFT, but also the physical books as well. And then eventually we'll expand to not just recreational reading, but also professional reading and educational reading. And put that into a number, out of the 24.56 billion US market of recreational reading spend market, we're going to first target the 1.23 genre fiction ebook market currently in the US. In terms of revenue streams, we have three of them. we'll take the commission, just like all the sales, out of the NFT books. We will also take a cut of the royalty that is for the NFT books that circulates on the secondary market like OpenSea. And then also we will reinvest on the premium that we get from selling the Librico platform token. So in terms of the go-to-market strategy, there are a few parts. So we will launch with the iOS mobile app that expands into Android later. And then we will do a few NFT drops just to accumulate more reader user base. And then we will also do the boosted reward campaign that just to adopt more, to accelerate the adoption of the readers. And then also we'll rally our writing group by going through a few writer contests. And last but not least, for every token that we sell on the platform, we're going to donate one book to one child. And that's just doing nothing else but just giving back to the community. In order to support that strategy, this is where we ask. For if you are a crypto investor, we would like to ask 1.5 million staking pool for about a year. So if you have that, we just want you to stake that for about a year. And that reward is going to be what we use to run our boosted reward campaign. And additionally, we would like to ask for 190K that is going to go to the development of the mobile app and also running the writing contest. In terms of the exit, we would like to go with strategic acquisition. The potential buyers can be either Amazon.com or OpenSea. So with that, I would like to say thank you so much. Thank you particularly for being so engaging. Appreciate all of your attention. This is our QR code. I'm going to also put it out in the later at desk so you can come and scan it. Please talk to me or please come to the website and talk to us, chat with us. We would like to hear from you and hopefully you enjoy this last 10 minutes. With that, I want to say thank you so much.
I will welcome up Joe though, while I am doing this. Joe is the founder of MMA BetClub and our second presenter today.
Hi everybody, my name is Joe Aberdeen. I'm the CEO and founder of MMA BetClub and definitely the biggest fan of mixed martial arts that you guys will ever meet. Promise you that. And today I'm going to tell you about what I'm doing to build and entertain a community of MMA fans while also enabling smarter and more responsible gambling through simulation. So, take you back here. Picture on the right there. It all started back in 1993. Myself and my two best friends, Frank and Chuck, watched UFC 1 on VHS in small town central Pennsylvania, and we were hooked for life, became diehard fans. The last 30 years have been pretty incredible as far as growth for the sport. You know, the number I heard last week was now there are over 600 million UFC and MMA fans worldwide, and 2020 was actually a pretty impressive year for the sport as well. When everything shut down because of the pandemic, the UFC actually refused to, and that meant they had a pretty captive audience when all the rest of the sports weren't operating. They did close down in-person events, so we didn't get to go meet up and see any of them, but we were on the couch every single day watching every fight, and it probably made us more engaged in the sport than we had been before that. So as we did it, we weren't big gamblers, but we started trying to get a little more skin in the game when we're sitting on the couch, and we started making some small bets, and my friend Frank in the middle there, he wanted to make sure that we were all aware of who was the real expert, so he put together a pretty simple spreadsheet, and as we went through, we like to talk trash, and we basically decided that we each were the best, but we all had to figure out which categories that was, so the spreadsheet grew in complexity, as you can see there. We had lots of tabs, lots of different things we were focusing on, and as I started showing it to a lot of my other friends, they all really wanted to get into it because one of the nice things was we were doing really well. And additionally, they also wanted to see how they stacked up against us. And it really wasn't scalable. There was a lot of manual work in the spreadsheet. So I came up with the idea in the summer of 2021 that maybe we would just turn this into a website and we would be able to let as many people get in the mix as possible. So I started building that with offshore, and in January of 2022, right before, almost exactly a year ago, we launched right before UFC 270, and MMA BetClub was born. A big part of what made me think this was a good idea is the fact that back in 2018, the Supreme Court struck down the federal ban on sports gambling and said states were now allowed to decide how they wanted to handle it themselves. And in the 4.5 years since then, 32 states and Washington, D.C. have legalized it. And last year hit an incredible number, $100 billion in gambling, sports gambling. And that's on the legal side. There's still 63.8 in the unregulated and offshore markets as well. California, if you guys paid attention, probably voted it down, is not one of the states along with Texas. So there's still some really large populations within the US that when they do legalize will expand and create even more opportunity for us. As far as some of the challenges that I encountered as a beginner bettor myself, one of the things that's really missing is content and data. There really isn't a lot when you compare it to some of the more established sports like football, baseball, basketball that have been around for a long time and have people betting on them for a long time. The other thing that was missing was actually fantasy MMA. So MMA BetClub was the first seasonal fantasy MMA option out there. There's not much transparency, so as I started betting, I went online and tried to find out who could maybe even make me better than I was, and everyone is a winner. No one loses, apparently, when it comes to gambling. You go online, everyone's the best, lots of winning tickets. It was really off-putting to me that there was no real accountability or visibility into how people were doing. I myself was also a little overwhelmed when I started getting in there. I'd always just kind of been picking winners and playing money line, and that's really not how most people bet MMA. You'll see that props are out there. There's a million different things to bet on. I didn't like that, and I didn't really understand it. And even talking to the UFC fans and MMA fans out there, a lot of them don't really even understand betting. So there's an opportunity to provide some education there. And then the last thing that really makes it tricky is the fact that unlike sports that have a long season and off season, you don't really have time to kind of study up on a stable roster of athletes and really understand it. It's constantly changing. So from week to week, people are moving organizations, people are being added to these rosters. It's really tricky, and most people right now probably couldn't even name a lot of the fighters that are in any of the major sports, even the UFC, when you look down the full card. And a lot of that also, it kind of goes back to the first point where it's an underserved audience in terms of understanding. So when it comes to creating the experience that we want here with MMA BetClub, we are not a gambling site. We are a strictly simulated gambling kind of fantasy style. So what we want to do is prepare our users for the betting window, give them some original content, track our users' performance, so you'll get to see very clearly who's doing well, how they're doing, see the history of all of their data, and it allows them to compete against friends for bragging rights and things like that, but also they can track actual betting performance or test out strategies before they actually get into risking real money to prevent them from losing when they don't know what they're doing. We will allow people to play fantasy their own way, so just like with my small group of friends, we all wanted to focus on different things. So you might care about being right the most often, you might care about the highest return, you may create whatever rules you want. Our platform enables all of that, so whenever you're setting up the contests or you're creating the leagues that you want to run, you can format it however you would like. And then we're also focused on that casual fan. So we are only offering moneyline and parlays, we don't have all the props. Basically, keeping it simple, I think it makes it an easy transition from being just a fantasy player to a basic bettor that just wants a little extra skin in the game, doesn't want to try to make a living out of it. I actually took a lot of inspiration. I was a 20-year player of fantasy football on Yahoo up until MMA consumed my life entirely and I didn't have time for it. But I love what they did, and a lot of what I tried to do was modeled after that. So they were first to market back in 1999, and one of the really important things they did was come out with a good product, but also being first really helped because A, they started the historical data first. They had the most history of leagues and things like that. And then additionally, people don't really like to learn new styles of things. So moving away from their platform was a challenge. So they really created a lot of lifelong customers just by being first and doing it the right way. One of the things I really loved was they were based on advertising dollars, so they didn't have a cost to operate it. It opens up the opportunity for lots of different people without having that barrier to entry with having to pay for it. They had centralized content and tools, so you didn't have to go anywhere else. It was all built right in. And then they do have a freemium model with upgrade options, so people that did want to be a little bit more competitive and would pay a few bucks a month for it could get access to additional tools. So there's an option to upgrade if you take it very seriously, if you're in a league that actually has a chance to win money and things like that. The go-to-market strategy starts with content, so we're going to be shifting more from where we are now into more of like a media company. Content creation is critical to draw the users in. We're already running a newsletter twice a week, but we're going to start doing a lot more with video, which is very popular, especially short form, adding articles, and networking through a lot of kind of the more household names in the space. Partnerships with sports bars, MMA gyms, and even fight promotions will help us with user acquisition as well as engagement. As we kind of started going, and the initial users that we had was all word of mouth. It was people that wanted to compete against their friends. So we're going to incentivize them to continue to invite other people that they know, whether they are from some of those other things like their own gyms or they're diehard fans across the country. And then social is obviously extremely important these days. So the hottest sections for MMA and MMA gambling particularly are Twitter, Discord, and Reddit. But we do have a presence on Meta and TikTok as well. And the nice thing too is that a lot of these fighters are, even with pretty decent names, are kind of undercompensated. So leveraging influencers shouldn't be too expensive by comparison to a lot of other ways you want to do it. Sizing the market, so in terms of fantasy users, there are 50.4 million in the US that are age 18 and over. When we were kind of looking at the ones that gamble, which have the greatest correlation to what we're doing, that brings it down to 39.3 million. Since there's no fantasy, kind of skipped a step there and worked backwards. So our target market would be the 8.6 million MMA bettors that are out there, and getting them into the fantasy game, getting them engaged more that way or with the simulation. How we're going to monetize, I mentioned the importance of the media element, so advertising dollars are going to be a huge part of that. Taking a look at some of the media companies out there in the space, companies like MMA Junkie, MMA Mania are some of the top ones. They get over 10 million users per month that come visit the site, and that works out to being somewhere in the 10 to 15 million per year in revenue. So that's going to be probably the largest portion of what we do. Since we don't actually offer gambling, we can create partnerships with sports books and other ones where we would get affiliate money back. So when our users are looking for a place to place an actual bet and we send them over, we'll get money back. Our freemium model, we do have some plans for tech that would actually benefit bettors or people that do have a need to be really competitive, similar to what Yahoo did. Low amount of money, but not really the core of what we're going to be doing. And then merchandise as we grow will be a big part of what we do too, as we have a brand and some fun things to do there. As far as the team, it's been me and my two silent co-founders so far. And then in December, I added Gerard Swart, who's a kind of fractional CTO who's helping me build the mobile-first site, which is going to be critical to our success. And then with the funding that we raised, we're going to look to add a marketing hire or even just expand agency usage for that to make sure we get our name out there, which is going to be really important. And then as far as what we've done and where we're going to go, so far we released the MVP back in 2022, as I mentioned. We had 500 plus signups with limited marketing. A little over half of them have participated in at least one event. Here I am at the Hub 101 Accelerator, and that really helped me a lot here. We also retained Dwayne Morris, who's the top law firm in the sports betting space, so as we kind of get fairly adjacent to it and look at other options to know our way around that landscape is pretty important. The rules are changing constantly as a lot of the stuff hasn't even settled in. And then we're looking to raise that $500,000 to build that mobile-first version of the site. Right now it's kind of desktop-oriented. That will also incorporate us adding a lot of the original content and premium features that will be monetizable. The marketing piece is going to be a big part because we have to draw in the audience to have the eyeballs, to sell the advertising, to be allowed to be an affiliate partner to make that money from sportsbooks. We need to be licensed, so we'll go through that process. And then for that specialty legal, I kept a little bit there because I do expect that we will consult with Dwayne Morris, although one of my silent partners, co-founders, is our general counsel right now, so we get a lot of free legal advice, which is nice. And that is it. So the QR code there will take you to our website. It's live right now. You're able to go in, look around. You can place some predictions for UFC 283 this weekend if you like. And I'd love to hear from you. Any questions or comments? My contact information up there as well. But thanks so much for the time.
I'm going to have Ravindra, founder of ECOSYS Hub, come on up.
Thank you, Christine. Thank you, everyone, for joining us this evening. My name is Ravindra Darsi. This ECOSYS Hub LLC is our company name. We started this company last year with the aim of building the digital ecosystem. And ECOSYS Health Hub is our first product in the healthcare area. We are trying to build a complete healthcare ecosystem. Ecosystem is similar to the biological ecosystem. It's the same concept. We can build a similar thing on the digital side too. So a little background about me is, I have 5 years of research experience in Germany and 16 years in IT industry. Through this experience, I have gained a lot of experience to how to connect the applications, various applications, and how to connect various systems or enterprises. So I have a lot of background in integrating the various like IT systems. So with that same background, I came up with this idea of why don't we build ecosystems and like a digital ecosystems. It is a broader concept. Building an application is easy, but building an ecosystem is a broader concept. And for example, when you look at the digital healthcare ecosystem, you consider so many things here. So you can see like we have patients, the providers, and the technology data, and we have to consider how they pay, the security. So we consider all aspects of a healthcare system. So in order to build this kind of ecosystem, so we make use of the industry 4.0 technologies, since we are in this area right now, and then with the technologies like IoTs, cloud computing, automation, it's very easy to build even these complex ecosystems. So with that, I will move on to the product that we have been building in the healthcare area. Healthcare area is these days. This is a very good area. Everybody, big players like even Google and Amazon, they are also kind of focusing to fix all the issues in the healthcare, because healthcare is one area where still there is so much to do with the technology. There are so many things to fix it. The main problem in the healthcare is that we have so much of data silos. Whenever I visit a physician or any specialist, all that the health records, they stays with them, and it's not so easy to transfer that data. And also still so many practitioners we can see now, even for sending my kids to the school at the beginning of academic year, I need to submit their vaccination list. So typically I go to the physician and he gives a paper-based the list of vaccinations, and I physically submit, and there is no easy way to submit electronically. And also another problem is there are different applications. Like for example, when you are in healthcare industry, what you need is we have to go through several applications to really experience or to collect the data. Not like there is no single platform that where you can easily navigate and for example, if I want to buy an insurance and also I want to make payments, and also I want to look for my benefits, and also to make medical appointments and look at my complete my medical history. There is no single platform is available. There are different applications available, but it's very easy to navigate and experience if we have a single system which through which we can do all those activities. So with that in mind, we have started building this product called ECOSYS Health Hub. It is completely cloud-based product. Basically, this may be too complex to digest, but basically what we are doing is like we are collecting various kinds of data. Like I can say like patient-generated clinical data. Through this data, we can collect this kind of data easily through IoT sensor. Just by the wearables or IoT sensors on the body, we can collect a lot of data about ourselves. Similarly, the provider generated data. Provider means all of our healthcare providers, doctors, they keep a lot of data about ourselves. So first we are building a complete data platform, various kinds of data platform, and these are the applications where we can build once we have the data in our hand. So it's a complete ecosystem that we are trying to build by collecting the data and also through the industry 4.0 technologies I have shown before. So for example, see, this is how you can collect so much of data you can collect through various IoT sensors just by attaching them to your body or to the clothes. So, and there is a way to easily collect that data and transmit to the cloud, and we can implement so much of AI algorithms or machine learning and create so much of very useful applications. This is the MVP we have worked on for the past 2 months. So this MVP, like you can sign into this product. This is currently, it's not a mobile app, but it's a web-based app. You can sign in with your Google account, and these are the features. Like for example, once you log in into the platform, you can add your healthcare provider, whoever you are with, and if you authorize it, you will automatically get all the data about your medical history, and it is completely secured. Nobody can see, only you can see. And also, like we have built a complete like 360-degree kind of your medical history in a single page, where you can see all about you. Like there are various categories where you can, which is just by clicking there, you can see all of your data at a single platform. This is the pricing model. This product currently we are targeting for both patients and practitioners. So for patients we have like basic and premium plan. Basic plan is just to keep all your medical records at one place. Premium plan is both medical data plus and also some additional features, like you can easily schedule appointments and you can easily browse through the insurance and also to get the prescriptions and buying the insurance. And the final one is the professional plan, is like for the practitioners or the providers, where they can look at the entire portfolio of their patients and their history, and they can easily communicate with them also in the platform. And as you can see, the market size is too big. Now everybody is investing in healthcare industry. There is a 63 billion kind of target market size by 2030, and also 90% of American adults are using one of the digital tools, either app or mobile phone. So it's so there is a lot of investment on the healthcare area. And these are the two recent products from Google and Amazon. Google built a kind of 360-degree kind of patient portfolio through Care Studio. This is the product from Google, just recently released, and Amazon also released to easily like buy the medicine just through virtually or electronically. That's Amazon Clinic. And if we stick to our plan, this is the development plan. It is spread across this year and next year, like 4 quarters. And this is the plan now. If we continue at the same pace what we are building right now, this is how we finish this entire the product by end of 2024. Initially to build that MVP I have shown before, we just spent 5K and it took one developer and 2 months. But in order to build complete the platform, I think it takes around 500K, and this is how we are going to spend that money. So finally, this is our contact information. If anybody is interested in healthcare domain and building applications using Industry 4 like ecosystems, you can take a copy of this. With that, I thank you all for listening to me. Thank you very much.
XIANA, founder of XIANA.
Good afternoon, everybody. How are you doing? Good. My name is XIANA, and this is XIANA, the future of luxury advertising. So XIANA is using blockchain technology to increase luxury publisher and brand valuations. It's a world where lead time is short, customers come back, advertising is exclusive, and everybody profits. It's a world created by XIANA. So it's a one-stop hub for luxury publishers and brands to collaborate to provide highly curated and incentivized user experience for the end user, the reader of published magazines, luxury magazines. And it'll increase valuations of both. Right now there's fixed cost in the publishing world, and that stops a lot of people or a lot of brands from being able to increase their valuation. We'll say Robb Report magazine valuation is only $25 million a year. That's their revenue. But if you take a look at companies like LVMH that owns Louis Vuitton, companies that you know, it's in the hundreds of billions of dollars. So why is there such a discrepancy? My goal is to use this system to flip it all on its head. Gamifying is one of the biggest ways that you can possibly increase the return of every single customer that engages fully with your product. Has anybody here played the game Candy Crush? Raise your hand. Anybody? Oh, guilty, I'm guilty too. It's okay. That's actually the most successful app on every app store on cell phones. The reason why is gamification. So it makes it fun. It makes shopping fun. It makes the experience fun. And the problem with Candy Crush is there's no incentive. You pay them, you don't get paid, right? You send them money, not the other way around. So the product transactions on blockchain can be permanently tracked. It rewards brands, luxury brands that sell their products on the platform. People that buy a product on the platform can resell it for a higher price because the transactions are tracked permanently. They can't be adjusted or edited or anything like that. So there's a permanent transaction record, so you can prove that this product is a real product and you can resell it for a higher price on a market. For the luxury brands, they get the information of the resale. They can get what's called cascading royalties and earn more money. So that's the increased valuation. So the site, a lot of people get really confused about this. They think it's going to look like a magazine. You click a button and it flips a page and makes it funny sound like it's 1999. It's not the case. But imagine a site where you can read your articles. You go to Vogue magazine online, you're reading through, you see one of your favorite brands. Everything is curated specifically for you. There's no pop-up ads. There's nothing coming up from Google. If you want to look at a luxury bicycle, do you really want an ad from Home Depot? Probably not. So each experience is curated for each user. And for the publishing and the brand side, it reduces lead times, competition, so you're not on Google, you're not competing with people on Google like Home Depot, and increases the lifetime value of the customer. So what is blockchain? Does anybody know what blockchain is and how it works? No? Okay, see me after class. No. So this shows the little Bitcoin thing. This is not Bitcoin. We'll just imagine that's, you know, a Louis Vuitton button right there. So a new transaction is entered. So you're on the site, you see a brand and a product that you like, you click on it. You can actually enter that transaction pretty quickly, and it goes through a network of peer-to-peer computers, and then it solves equations to confirm that it's a valid transaction. So it starts to group those together, and it becomes a permanent chain of command, basically, of the validity of a transaction, and it's done in seconds. So lead time is incredibly short. You're not printing a magazine, sending it out to people's homes or newsstands. People read through it, they finally get to the product, and they gotta go to the website, and then they have to find it, and then they have to go through the transaction then. We just wanna get rid of that process entirely. So industry leaders that are effectively integrating blockchain into their sales and marketing are Time Magazine, Dolce & Gabbana, Prada, Nike, Adidas. A lot of companies are already using blockchain. So what's the problem? Why do I want to get publishers into blockchain? Well, these companies are using it. These companies have, some of them have decades and decades-long relationships with these brands, but print advertising went from over $25 billion to $5 billion in a 12-year span. Well, less than 12 years, we're not at 2024 yet, but print is dying. Using blockchain can maintain the relationship between the brand and the publisher. We can create high reward systems for readers, from the subscriptions to purchases, using, oh gosh, so sorry. So we use the gamification process, earning tokens, earning rewards on every single transaction, getting people early access to exclusive product drops. Sorry. There we go. Exclusive product drops. Say you have Rolex has a limited edition watch coming out, and there's only going to be 50 of them. Our platform will allow that company to perform an auction, but who gets the early access? The people who purchase more often. And the other rewards points can go to luxury travel, yacht excursions in Monaco, you know, wherever you want to go. But publishers have been excluded based on the limited access to blockchain. So to build a blockchain company from scratch can cost millions of dollars. Like I said at the beginning, Rob Report may not have, you know, $5 million just sitting around. There might be issues with connecting with these brands and whatever blockchains they're using. So my goal is to create a blockchain system that they can easily jump into as a white label service for a massive fraction of the cost of building their own blockchain. So building on the existing foundations versus the competition, companies like UNXD and OpenSea are attempting to move advertising dollars away from these traditional publishers and onto their own metaverse sites, and nobody uses metaverse, not even me, and I'm into blockchain, guys. But UNXD has no brand recognition at all. You guys have all heard of Vogue magazine, you've heard of Rob Report, you've heard of Dolce & Gabbana, you've heard of all of these companies. Has anybody heard of UNXD? No. OpenSea is just for anybody. Anybody that wants to buy a picture of a JPEG of a monkey You guys, NFT stuff, nobody's really into that either. So those are two of the top killers in business, and luxury is not about being for everybody, and they're not about a lack of recognition. So the alienation between the publishers and luxury brands just isn't going to work, and it's not going to help anybody move into mass adoption of blockchain usage. So XIANA is the key component for nurturing what already works, what's already there, the relationships between these luxury brands and publishers. My go-to-market plan would be to meet with these publishers, get them on board, get their existing brands on board as well. Utilize the existing marketing channels that they have. There's no need to reinvent the wheel. We all know what already works is working pretty well in marketing. And partnering with major credit card companies, luxury travel and accommodation companies, entertainment groups, and offer more experiences in exchange for purchase rewards for the end user. I'm Christiana Clancy. I told you a little bit about myself. I've been in marketing. I've helped launch startups with some crazy inventions along the way, and it's been a great time. Mike is my VP of Business Development, and I've worked with him for 7 years now, and he's never guided me wrong. So the partners that I already work with are Gigster. Their blockchain portfolio includes giants like MasterCard, IBM, and Pepsi. So we have an agreement to work together and get this built. And they know how to do it right the first time, which is why I chose them. So Brightly Consulting, they'll be helping with the marketing consultation. And Par Excellence Group is a luxury yachting magazine based in Monaco, and they're going to be my test subject, my guinea pig. And they have a lot of partners that are willing to work with him on being part of blockchain. So this is the funding breakdown. Seeking $580,000 for the pre-seed round. And if you want to take a picture of that, you can. And thank you. See you again soon.
Can we just, again, give a round of applause to all 4 of those entrepreneurs? This is the first time they've ever presented their companies, especially to a room of this amount of people. So I'm very proud of all 4 of you. Very well done. Awesome. It's been wonderful to have you. I don't even know if I introduced myself for those of you who I don't know. My name is Kristen. I'm the program manager here. Again, very excited to have you. Thank you so much for coming to our demo day. I see Gerhard in the back. Gerhard is the Dean of the School of Management, which the Hub 101 ultimately sits within. And I don't know if Mike is here. Can we see Mike? And then Mike Panessis, who will show up, many of you know him as the Executive Director for the Stephen Dorfman Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship. I haven't looked to see if Stephen is online yet. I think Stephen might be joining us online right now. So, little synopsis of who we are and what we do. We are here for entrepreneurs. We are a resource. A lot of what we do is free. Events like this, mentorship, and whatnot. So I hope to see you all around. And with that, let's break to the networking part. I hope to see you at one of our future events in person.